All right, folks, back in action here at the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship.
Table assignment for Alicia Rousseau, Lisa Cassette, table 7. Table assignment for Deanna Foster, Mary Schoening, table 5.
All right, welcome back, folks. Continuing coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Strokers from here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Got Brandi James and Serafina Concannon currently on the streaming table. I believe this is Brandi in the gray shirt. This will be a race to 5. Combination 8-ball and 9-ball. Ladies got a little bit of a head start on us here, but still in the first game of this match. This is Serafina, I believe, at the table. Ladies opted to start in the 8-ball set, so we'll see 3 games of 8-ball, potentially 6 games of 9-ball. I'm not sure. This is second round, first match for these ladies. Serafina's from Gaithersburg, Maryland. And a whole lot going on here at Strokers for the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. We've got the main table coverage. We've got bonus coverage over on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/APA Leagues. Serafina with the scratch in the corner there. Again, a lot of folks still tuning into the stream or just joining us. Second round, this year's Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. This event coming to you from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, just across the bay from Tampa. This event, of course, produced by the American Pool Players Association, and this coverage brought to you by our friends at PoolDog.com. First day of competition here. The ladies event will extend into tomorrow evening. The open event, 128 players, will begin on Friday and run through Sunday. 11 former champions in this year's competition. Of course, we just saw one of those champions, the defending champion in the women's division, Melinda Hong, winning her first match. Some of you folks were able to join us for that one. All right, so it sounds like both Brandi, who is at the table here, and Serafina, her opponent, both had first round buys. So we are watching winner's side of the bracket currently between these two ladies. Of course, you can follow the bracket of all the matches at CompuSport.us. See who's who, who's winning, who is yet to be winning. Just peeking over at our YouTube channel to see if we had the bonus coverage going on yet. It appears that we do. Yeah, I think Pascal's going to come over and sit in with us a little bit. One of our league operators from Montreal. Throw a headset on there, brother. All right. Pascal, one of our referees all the way here from Montreal?
Montreal.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason.
The French connection here to walk us through this match between Brandi James and Serafina Concannon. Again, this is Serafina at the table, giving ball in hand now to Brandi James. So Pascal, what's new with you, buddy? I mean, down here taking in the event, helping us out.
Yep.
Came a long way to be here.
Yes, we're sending 2 players from Montreal in this event.
Okay.
We have one in the ladies tournament.
And who's
one,
that?
It's Farla Salmanovic from Montreal.
Okay.
And in the men's event, we're sending Mehdi Arak, who's won our qualifier down in Saint-Hyacinthe, which is a city nearby Montreal.
Remind me to bring you on the stream when we have them on, because I will not be able to pronounce either of their names based on what I just heard you say.
So it's been the 3rd year we're sending players here, and they're enjoying it very much.
Yeah. Now, did you run a preliminary up there in Montreal?
Yep.
Okay.
They won their spot out of those preliminary rounds, yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, to obviously to qualify for this level of the event, you have to win in a preliminary round, which were held in September.
Yep.
Just missed the 8 ball there.
Yeah, not leaving much to the opponent, though.
And this is Serafina from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Brandi is from Grain Valley, Missouri. Not exactly sure where Grain Valley is, and I'm actually from Missouri, so
yeah.
that's, yeah. We'll have to do a little research
It's
and try to figure out exactly where that's at. Not close to St. Louis that I'm aware of, but
yep.
Of course that's where APA's headquarters is.
So not so easy to get a good defensive shot on this one. Maybe only distance will do, but going for it is not so a gimme.
Yeah, not 100% sure. I think Brandi won the lag and may have opted for the format.
Yeah,
They kind of got started so quick, we had trouble keeping up with what was what. So
she was trying to stuck Brandi on the cushion, but those tables are pretty fast.
right.
I had the chance to practice on those, and with the light, the brand new felt and everything, they're pretty fast.
Yeah, Jose Del Rio, the owner here at Strokers, I know he likes to refelt them. I don't know that he did it. I'm not exactly sure when he did it, but fairly close to the
event.
Yeah, to the event. He does that each year. So pockets the 8 in the
Yep.
corner.
Very
She's on the board.
Very amazing conditions there for players.
Yeah.
With the brand new balls, brand new cushion, felts.
Brandi now on the board first, leading 1-0 in this race to 5. This will be the second game of 8-ball. Again, we'll see 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball. That's kind of the beauty of the combination here. Grain Valley, Missouri, just east of Kansas City. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Which is why we don't, because St. Louis is on the other side of the state. So what's going on in Montreal right now? What's
Lots
the pool scene like up there?
We have a very active pool scene, I would
Yeah.
say. I'm actually the league operator there in Montreal for the CPA, the
Sure.
Canadian Pool Player Association. So started like 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
now we're having kind of a a little bit more than 400 players playing
Wow.
the CPA format.
That's great.
Sending teams to Vegas and stuff. So, but also on the.
And you're kind of expanding into Montreal, right? Is
Yep.
that correct? Too?
Yeah,
So you're
started on the south shore of Montreal, and now we're adding some locations on the island.
Awesome.
So, yep, it's getting more and more interest throughout Montreal. yeah.
nice.
And but there's also lots of activity for professional players
Yeah.
in the whole province of Quebec, Canada. Lots of things going on. We had the chance to have a billiard federation that was pretty active for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So for higher skill level players, we have lots of tournaments going on
Nice.
every weekend and stuff.
Sounds
I
like a
also
hotbed
run-
of pool up there.
Yeah, I also run lots of tournaments for the members of the CPA for sure.
Nice.
But the pro divisions, we have the what we call the Falcon Tour because it's sponsored by Falcon Qs.
Ah,
That is
Oh.
our main division.
saw that ball rattle in the pocket there in that corner pocket, so that'll bring Brandi back to the table. Again, I'm not overly familiar with either of these players. Brandi, we mentioned, from Grain Valley, Missouri, been playing off and on 23 years. Said she started playing pool because her mom was starting a team at the bar where she worked. So that's
Nice.
so many of the folks, right,
Yeah.
that we know that start APA, brought in by friends and family members and that kind of thing. Of course, now is a great time. If you're not already an APA member, you can go to poolplayers.com/join and become a member today. You probably have spring session just around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of divisions starting sometimes in December or early January after
Nice.
Christmas. So lots of format available.
Excellent.
This one's it's quite like the Masters format.
Sure, yeah. Jump cue allowed, some of the variations, push out.
Mhm.
A little bit different than our normal APA or CPA league rules.
Yep.
I want to remind folks you can go, if you're asking about particular participants in this event, if you go to compusport.us, you can kind of follow along, look up whoever you're wanting to follow. I'll pin that here to our comments section so you folks have that.
Our friends from CompuSports
Yeah.
providing the brackets. Good friends of ours in Montreal since they're from Quebec.
That's right. They have really become a big part of what we do with our tournaments, the software that they provide.
So next ball will be the 2 or maybe the 7, right close by the 8. Maybe that would be a good time to play it so that we have a position afterwards, but she seems to be choosing the 2, I believe. There's the one afterwards on that can be played on the side pocket, so that's a good choice. Just overran it a bit.
Again, this is Serafina. I like that name, Serafina.
Serafina.
Pretty name.
Concannon. In French, it will be Serafina.
Ah.
Serafina.
Oui.
So kind of difficult to hold the cue for position after that. So you got to bring the cue to the right cushion, and that's why she was jacking. So I think she can see the 6 in the.
Sarah's been playing for about 14 years. She said she played for fun in high school, then she joined APA when she got a little bit older. Sounds like she's been out to our events in Vegas.
Cool.
A lot of these folks that we'll see this week, you know, we run into in Vegas from time to time as well. So
They
these
play
upper
different
echelon
formats.
players, well, even if they don't qualify on teams, they come out and play in the minis, or yeah, a lot of times you'll see them on Masters teams. Sometimes captaining an 8-ball or a 9-ball team.
Yep. Obviously, the more experienced players, so
Yep.
often they're also captains of teams.
Absolutely. Of course, I know you were in were you in Vegas in August?
Yep.
All right, so you saw the new team captain championship.
Yeah.
I thought that event was
That was
outstanding.
spectacular.
Yeah, really exciting event to watch.
Yeah.
Newly implemented for this year, which was an event just for our team captains, kind of an appreciation to them, and really love that format.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the match itself was very exciting. So
I had the chance to be in the audience for the final, and that
Nice.
was all the crowd was really into it
Yeah.
and
Well, it was-
cheering after each rack,
Yeah.
and wow,
as the
that
back-to-back on the breaks really turned the momentum of that match. It was amazing.
yeah, they were like 3 down,
Yeah.
something like that, and then they run a table, and then a 9 on the break, and then 8 on the break.
Yeah.
To make it 3, even 3.
You can actually go back to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/APA Leagues, and watch how that match unfolded. It's well worth the watch.
Yep.
If you're looking for something to watch after our live
Our main
streaming
program.
coverage here. Yeah, so much to watch here, right? We've got the bonus tables. If you go to youtube.com again /APA Leagues, we've got a couple of bonus matches being live streamed from here at Strokers. You can watch those. In addition to the match we're bringing you here.
Oh, nice shot.
There we go.
That was hard. Perfect position on the 8, or almost. Never easy to be shooting over the pocket, but I think she's gonna finish this game here, getting comfortable. There we go. Nice shot.
Trying to go back through some of our comments here as we go, try to catch up. We did have a Canadian team win this year in our World Championships for the first time ever in 8-ball. I know we had a team previously in 9-ball, but if you want to click right here, it'll take you kind of back and forth.
Oh,
And a little break in the action here. I want to make sure that I mention our friends at Pool Dog, who are bringing you this coverage free and uninterrupted. Got some special offers for APA members right now. If you want to go over to their website, pooldog.com/APA champs, you get a free towel. I know they're also, you can pick up a new catalog, pick up your all your Christmas gifts for all your pool playing friends and family.
Just on time for Christmas.
Just in time for Christmas, that's right. Update the score here. We are now tied.
Tied at 1.
1-1. Brandi preparing the rack. Serafina will have the break. Let's see what other kind of comments the folks out there have. I'm sure there are lots of fans of Pascal's French accent.
As long as they understand me.
Yeah. Well, we're really going to depend on you when your players get on the stream. What was the lady that you have playing? What's her name?
Farla.
Farla
Salmanovic.
Farla Salmanovic. That's a name right there. Now, was she here last year? Is that
No.
No, okay.
Unfortunately.
Because I thought you had a different player here last year, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Valerie was the player from Quebec last year.
Okay. Well, you got to like being down here in Tampa this time of year. I don't know what the weather's like up in Quebec, but I'm guessing it's not nearly as warm.
They didn't have to ask twice for me to come here.
Sunshine in mid-80s. You couldn't ask for, well, as long as you're a fan of the warm weather, you couldn't ask for much more, I guess.
Yep.
All right, Serafina with the break.
So she made a stripe on the break. They have to take what they make, so she's gonna have to start with the stripe.
Now, did you have anybody playing up in the border battle
Yeah.
earlier this week? So you're
lots of fun this past weekend at the border battle. I was sending 3 teams, in fact, 2 in the 9-ball event and 1 in the 8-ball.
So is that event wrapped up? Is that over now?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
So what the event we're referring to is an APA CPA event that's some of the leagues right there on the border compete in. It's a U.S. versus Canada, and pretty cool event. I know you guys live streamed that for the first time.
Yeah.
And so were you there, or did you? Okay, so you went from Montreal down there, and now you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was wrong. She made a solid, it seems, because she shot at a solid. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting event. The players really liked it.
Now, how does that work out? Do the teams get bracketed with other teams from Canada, and they get bracketed with teams from U.S. and they meet in the final, or?
No, it's all mixed up.
Okay,
yeah,
so did you have a Canadian and U.S. team in the final, or how did that work out?
In the finals, I remember there was one in the 9-ball bracket. There was a Canadian team. I'm not sure if the other team was from. We can see it in the.
We'll have to go back and check that out.
In CompuSport.
Right.
It's CompuSport.
CompuSport, of course.
All the brackets are there.
Sure.
My friends, my colleagues, operator from Toronto area can help us out to remember exactly what team made the final. Unfortunately, none of my teams went that far, but they
and
had a blast.
How many teams were there?
It was a 64 bracket for 8-ball and 32 for 9-ball.
That event's really grown. That's another of the APA or CPA regional events that's really exploded. There's so many events now. We were talking earlier with Jeanette about all the opportunities there are to play in these tournaments. It's not just the World Championships, the Pool Player Championships, the U.S. Amateur Championship, the Juniors, but you've got the Border Battle, you got the Southwest Challenge, you got the Northwest Invitation. You got them all over North America now, so it's like there's just so much to do, and if you're not already a member, now is really the best time to get on board. You go to poolplayers.com/join. You can do that. You can actually join online today. And league operator like Pascal will get you set up with a team, or you can actually bring in your own team if you want to play, or if you just got a few people you want to bring, and maybe you'll pair them up with some
family.
More.
You don't even need to be experienced pool players. If
no,
you
it's
like
actually
pool,
better
that's
if if you're not, right?
Yeah,
you're more coveted. The lower. Or the newer you are, the more coveted you are.
We're even trying to start working on maybe making a big event in Montreal itself. So maybe in the following years, you'll get the chance to meet us in Montreal.
I would love that. That would be great. I've never been up that way. I haven't gone north of Toronto. Serafina again at the table.
Also, we had Florian at the Border Battle doing a show.
Was he up there? Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, Venom, of course, our buddy that we do a lot of work with.
He's
quite the world traveler, isn't he? I never know. Yep. I'm always talking to him on email, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in this country, and I'm in that." I'm like, oh, that's tough to keep up. He's got the frequent flyer miles. All right, Brandi back at the table here. This will be the final set, or the final game of the 8-ball set. Some familiar names tuning in, some folks from different league operators around the country, some folks from back at our world headquarters in St. Louis. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. This event being held at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. That is just across the bay from Tampa. Beautiful area of the country.
Serafina helping, is it the contrary? Brandi helping Serafina,
right.
with
Serafina
making
at the
two of
table.
the hover
Sure.
balls in the previous
Yeah.
shot.
Thank you very much. So,
Thank you very much.
Serafina trying to take the lead as they shift from the 8-ball to the 9-ball set here after this game. Of course, we talked about the combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. They play 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball.
I think the one must be passing in the lower. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Seems to be having enough space to go into the pocket. Just enough angle to go up table for the 8 afterwards. But that's not a gimme for sure. She'll need a really precise shot not to hit the pink one.
Of course, they're using the Aramith TV balls. Want to make sure we do thank our friends at Aramith, sponsor of the APA, along with Pool Dog, Action Cues, Valley Tables, all sponsors and help us put on these great events. We got Jeanette Lee. She's itching to get back in here. You want to get back in here? Here. I'll let you sit down with Pascal for a couple minutes.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeanette Lee, the Black Widow.
Good morning.
Happy to be here. Hello, Pascal. Glad to have you here in the booth.
I'm honored to be with you today.
Thank you. She looks like she's not very comfortable.
On the 8, shooting the 8 is not easy.
There's the bank.
Coming.
Oh my gosh, it looks like she nailed it. Oh, hung it up.
Sending Brandi back at the table with an open table.
And they're all wide open for her.
Yep. That first shot might be the hardest one she'll shoot till the end.
Ooh, but that shows a little confidence there
Yep,
because she had a lot easier shots.
Yep.
And a lot of times I'll choose the easier shot, even if it's not necessarily the right shot, because I want to get a few balls under my belt and feel more comfortable at the table. But the fact that she chose almost the toughest shot she could have chose to start and start running balls means that she felt, she's comfortable.
Yeah, nice.
Uh-oh.
A bit short.
Yeah.
Oh, she might still see the corner ball there. Is it a 14? Yeah, I think she sees enough of it to make it.
Yeah, she doesn't look worried.
Yeah. Those tables, again, are pretty fast.
So she can hit a nice thin hit.
She might need.
I don't know about that.
You know, she has an angle to go left afterwards, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she wanted to be
easier hitting thinner than, she probably hit it fuller than she meant to.
Yeah. I don't know if she really wanted to be on this side of the ball, but...
When she missed it.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Shooting at the 8 ball. Taking a good look to see how deep it is in the pocket.
Always a good thing to do with balls in the pocket.
That's something that you know for your entire life. You are always going to have hangers. But I'm surprised always by the number of people that really don't know how to control the cue ball off a hanger.
Yeah.
To get the cue ball to play position on any area of the table. If you keep practicing hangers and get someone to set it in the pocket over and over and say, okay, I want my cue ball here,
Yep.
then on this diamond, then on that diamond, and work your cue ball all the way around the table, I think that practice, which shouldn't take that long, that type of practice is going to benefit you for a lifetime.
Because making the ball obviously is a gimme, but
Right. Control off of the ball.
Yeah, it's sometimes really, really tricky. You should be able to go everywhere you want on the table off of that ball, but sometimes you have so many choices. You could go rail first, cut
Right.
it thin, cut it thicker,
exactly.
yeah, and then it will influence. Sometimes you even need to hit it full with a backspin because
Right.
the other options are not available. But you always want to give yourself the easiest way. So
Right.
I don't know what you think, but normally a follow shot will be easier if you don't need to hit it that hard.
It's actually easier, not in this situation. She's going to be able to, as long as you don't hit that 8 ball straight on,
Yeah,
and you hit it softly, it's going to go. But let's say that it's a solid or a stripe,
and you need
the
to go
ball's
to
sitting
another
in the
table.
pocket.
Yeah.
I think because you take the pocketing of the ball for granted, you're not careful enough on the fullness or of the hit
Yep.
on the object ball, which means that the cue ball could end up anywhere on the table. And when I'm positioning for another ball, I rarely hit with a follow shot. I rarely
Okay.
hit above center. And the reason why is, I mean, a rolling ball is different, where it's just a little bit above center so that you get the natural roll. But a lot of people aim very high on the cue ball.
Even when you're
On
cutting
hangers.
when you're cutting it thin in the pocket.
Well, even when I need to hit a ball thinner, I will more often aim low than aim
Okay,
high.
cool.
And I don't mean draw.
Yeah.
But
I
enough
understand.
to where, because what happens is, a lot of times you mean to hit it thin, but you end up catching it too full. Well, when you're hitting it with overspin,
Yeah.
that top spin,
True.
it hits that end rail and it dies.
Stays there. Yeah.
Because it has picked up so much top spin, and when it hits the rail, it doesn't want to come back. So
Good
if I
point.
aim a little lower on the cue ball, it's, for me, more controllable because you're not also having to picture, well, how much is that top spin going to take off the end rail? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a very good point you're making because it's kind of like going against the action of the rail.
Right.
Because you're putting top spin on the white and then
Right.
making it die in the cushion. So, that's a good point.
If I'm aiming lower on the ball, it's more controllable for me because it's going to act like a normal shot.
Yeah.
But if you aim high, then, God forbid if you hit it fuller than you mean to, now you've got to just control how that overspin takes and dies on the end rail.
Yep.
So I want to take that out of play. I want whatever I mean for it to happen. So aiming a little bit lower on the cue ball gives me that kind of control.
Thank you. I've already learned something today.
It's something worth practicing for sure. Now, guys, I want to tell you, we are, if you're watching us from Facebook or on YouTube, I am looking at the comments that you guys make on our Facebook page, the American Pool Players Association, also live now with that. So if you guys want to talk to us a bit, we'd love to hear from you.
While Brandi's at the table. I think she needs to go for the 4 here in the corner. It's it's hard to tell from here if she can make it because of the 5 that is so close.
All right. Got Amber, Bobby, Jeff, Jason, all you guys. Thanks for
No.
tuning in. The gentlemen's
Yep.
tournament
Still first game,
starts
9 ball?
tomorrow.
Yep,
What
9
day?
ball now,
Friday.
yep.
Friday.
Yeah, first game of 9 ball. I didn't know if I did updates.
Yeah.
Yep, starts Friday.
The men's U.S. Amateur starts on Friday. The U.S. Amateur, oh, it's an open tournament. Awesome. So men and women can play in the U.S. Amateur Open division.
As long as you win your qualifier.
That's right. Awesome. The event you're watching now is a ladies only event, women's only event.
Oh, watch out. Oof. So, will Serafina choose the defensive shot?
Oh, no! Okay. Look at that. She left her shot there.
The position on the 6 afterwards is not easy either if she decides to make it top right.
Yeah, she's getting up, which is good. That shows a little bit of experience. Get back up. Don't shoot a shot that you're not comfortable with. Looks like the cue ball is close to the rail, so she's having to elevate the back of her cue stick because she doesn't want the cue ball to go forward and hit that 6 ball. However, that makes it a little bit more difficult. Oh, she is solids.
No, we're playing 9 ball, so she was...
Guys, I'm so sorry because I walked in the middle of the match and I didn't realize we were playing 9 ball. Okay. That makes things a lot more clear for me. That's hilarious. I'm so busy talking about the game and not about this match. Okay.
So, will she choose the combo afterwards, making a 6 and 7 after? Looks like so. Again, combos are never easy, and
That's
also
right.
you need to control the first ball you're hitting so that you still have a shot afterwards. So normally, I guess you try to hit it a little bit softer so that you don't bring the 6 up in the middle of the table towards the 9 and 8 in this case. So
That's funny that she didn't come over and aim the 6 into the 7 to be exact.
maybe she's playing the defensive shot also. She's kind of looking.
I see.
Because sending the 6 down and the white behind the 8 and 9 wouldn't be a bad shot either, but it's hard to tell if she's trying to do the combo or not. Oh,
Oop, a little bit softer.
but now she's tied up the 8 and 9, so making the table a lot harder for Serafina. She'll need to plan on breaking those while playing the 7.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea, the shot that she was trying to do. If she hit it a little thinner, it would have put more distance.
Yeah.
The 6 ball closer to being under the 8, 9, and the cue ball further down table on the rail. But still, this isn't a hanger, because even if you make the 6...
You have to stay for the 7, and
Yeah.
you might easily be hidden behind the 8 and 9 down the table. So would you, instead of rolling the ball just like she did, would you play it like as a drag shot?
A kill shot.
A kill shot,
where you
yeah.
slow down your cue ball.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Right.
a really advanced shot, but...
Right. But they both seem to have a decent knowledge of the game. They
Yeah.
understand how to play strategically. And even if you're not at a pro level and you're at an amateur level, if you regularly make good decisions, then that's all you can ask for. Because making the ball, that's just going to come with time and practice.
And practice, yeah. Nice shot, I think.
Yeah.
Now she simply needs to focus on making that 7 ball, and normally, yeah, the position is not a gimme either, but
No, but if she hits it with a regular high ball, cut the 6
left,
ball.
a bit left English, a bit, no?
No,
not
because
even?
it's going to pick up topspin, and the cue ball can go down to the end rail, back up table, and perfect for
Okay,
for
you would play it two
she
two
missed
cushions. not an easy leave.
No. This would be a good safety shot. If she
Yep.
can make a half ball hit on the 7, put the 7 up on the other side of the 8 ball, and put the cue ball over on the far side. This is a half ball hit.
At the pro caliber, we obviously try to hide both balls, but sometimes simply put the 7 on the cushion will be
Right.
enough.
Yeah. And actually, had she hit it with a little more speed, the fullness of the hit was very good.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, she just needed to hit it slightly harder, and then she wouldn't be able to see the 7 at all.
So another defensive shot may be coming up.
This is kind of a free shot. She was playing
Yeah.
a safety, but if she wanted to bank the ball, the cue ball could have ended here on some kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think she's succeeded in hiding the 7 here. Serafina should hit that ball, not to. It's not that difficult.
She's
but,
cueing like she can hit the 7 ball.
Oh, maybe in between the two. No.
Oh,
okay.
no, okay. She hit that a little bit harder than she should have, yeah.
Okay.
Now this is Brandi?
Yep.
All right, Brandi.
So I don't know if she's straight enough to. No. So she's going with top spin on this one. Maybe 2 cushions and shoot the 8 in the side. Looks like so. She went for a single cushion. That's just about perfect. She might need to draw to the cushion to keep position for the 9 or something. But she seems to be quite straight, so she might even try to hit it soft and remain there for the 9.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Yeah, she needed more draw to come over to the side rail and back
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Then she would have been able to really let the stroke out and control the white at the
Right.
same time. So it's 2-2 now. Can you make sure? Can you make sure this is the right score?
Do we know what their normal skill levels are?
They might be 7, 8, or 9 for sure.
You think so?
Maybe 2 7s. I don't know.
Brandi, checking the rack. It's kind of important to check the rack, and it's not about accusing your opponent of giving you a bad rack, but when there are space between the balls inside the rack and you hit them hard, it's like a pinball game. They're going to all keep bumping into each other, and it would lose energy, whereas if they're all frozen, even if you hit it slightly, the balls are immediately going to spread open because there is no space between the balls. So it really affects your ability to make a lot of balls on the break.
Yeah, and also even when you're racking the balls, you want to make sure the balls are really tied up. And also those 2 that I always take a hard look on are the 2 right behind the 9, because I don't want the 9 to be moving and giving the 9 on the break to my opponent. So I want to make sure those 2 balls behind the 9 are really tight to that 9 ball to make sure it should stay right it is after the break.
That's right. A lot of people look at the cue ball, the 1 ball, and making sure the 2 balls behind the 1 are touching, which is
Important,
critical.
yeah.
It's critical to having a good opening. However, if you also leave a hair between the 2 balls behind the 9, if one is on and one is off, there's a very good chance that the
That
9 ball
will
is going
be
to go towards
leaning
one of the
to-
bottom corner pockets. So you want to make sure that both of those balls are frozen.
Yeah.
And people get a little bit lazy because if they try to get them frozen, but one is just off by a hair, actually the thinner the closer those balls are behind the 9 and not touching, the greater the opportunity
Yeah.
that the 9 ball will go in a corner pocket. So having even a hair of space, it's really important that you
How
get
many
those balls
times in
frozen.
competition you're racking for your opponent, you're looking at the rack, you
Right.
like the balls don't seem to be willing to tie it up. You look at it, you see, oh, there's just a little hair. I'll leave it there, and what happens happens. The other player makes the 9 of the break.
Right.
So
Someone let us know that Brandi is actually a 7 in 9 ball.
okay.
Thank you for that, Kayla. Alan Wiltz Jr. asked how he can get back involved in the APA, being that I am an over-the-road trucker. That is difficult because
Yeah.
there is no league that will play cross country for you. But if you tend to be in the same cities and if you're going to be there for, you know, a small amount of time, some people are just, let's say they go to Florida for the winter.
Yep.
And they're there for 3 months. You can easily play a session with your local league operator. in
And
whatever
also
city you're in.
now having operators offering many type of formats, sometimes even some monthly formats are available. So maybe if he's not there each and every single week, there might be some formats available for him played
And an
monthly or
alternate-
bi-monthly or something like that.
where it's scheduled in an alternate format. So,
Yeah.
for example, if you decide that you want to play in a Masters division, but they play 2 matches once a month, something like that, that would be a good opportunity for you. Because if you're going to be there most of the time within that month, then also you might be able to schedule makeup matches occasionally or pre-play specific matches. It's just a matter of how flexible the bylaws are in a particular area. Ooh, I think she was trying to hit that very thin and missed it altogether.
So it's Brandy's first experience here at the US Amateur. Her goals in pool are to still continue improving and learning something from every match. So it'll be interesting to talk to her afterwards. And
That's a good attitude.
Yep.
That's the way I feel like I still am to this day. I just want to continue to feel like I'm improving. There's certainly a lot of ways to improve. I feel like the better you get at this game, the more you realize you still have so much to learn. You know, you just keep seeing that the game can get so much better.
yeah, the more I learn about you pro players is that I see you guys like being so meticulous and being some kind of you need to control absolutely everything that
That's
happens
right.
on the table. So that's
Right. Because you get to the point where pocketing the balls are a lot easier, right? You've been playing for years. You know what to do with the ball, but to control the cue ball
it's the main thing.
is something that even if you know where the cue ball is going, you have to take into account the speed of the table, the speed of the cloth, the speed of the rails, the humidity in the room. You know, if it's dirtier or wetter in the room, the cue ball is not going to be as lively. It's the English is gonna grab a lot more. Just imagine more stuff, right, between on the object balls, and so you put some left spin. If it's dirtier, the object ball will grab the cue ball's spin a lot more easily.
And what impresses me a lot with professional is that just like Tiger Woods could shoot a 7-iron like 30, 100 ways, different ways, even if when you're trying to, let's say, put a top right English on the white, you might even have many ways to go through the white and hit the ball differently so that it reacts not exactly the same way. Even though you're hitting at the same spot on the white, for us amateurs, it might seem like the same shot, but the way you you hit the ball is
Right.
completely different sometimes.
Mhm.
So that is the level of
Precision.
that is needed at the pro level that is really impressive.
But I'll tell you, when I first started, I never played 8-ball because I just thought that was the game for amateurs. And it's because that's what we see on the pro level on TV. We see them playing 9-ball. But I'll tell you, the better I got, the more I saw 8-ball played at a high level, the more I became fascinated with 8-ball. Because in 9-ball, really, there's not really much thinking involved. The strategy and everything is kind of made for you. You just
Yep.
paint by numbers. And so what shot do I shoot next? The 5-ball. What shot do I shoot after that? Oh, the 6-ball, then the 7, you
Yeah.
know. And so there's only a little bit decision on
Basically,
how
it's
to
when
get
you
to
get
the next ball.
you missed position, then you decide to play a defense, or if
Right,
by
or
the
a different
layout,
way.
by the layout of
Right. Whereas in 8-ball, you have so many more options, and you have to move your cue ball around so many more balls. I mean, you're trying to do a run out, but your cue ball doesn't have as many options because you have to make sure that your cue ball stays out of the way of your opponent's balls. Your cue ball just has to be a lot better. There's more strategy, more thinking involved in 8-ball that I've come to like it a lot.
At first, it might seem that it's easier because you got many options, many balls that you can shoot at, but there are always some critical shots,
Right.
critical positions at certain point of the rack that you cannot
Right.
leave it to. You got the plan ahead. But we have kind of the same situation down in Montreal, where and even in the province of Quebec, because the 9-ball was a lot more popular, and now bringing the APA CPA to Montreal, we're kind of learning to love that game again. And even myself, I'm really enjoying it more and more and more by playing in it and seeing it played by the players. And as you said, enjoying all the strategy aspect of 8-ball. You can also really see the personality of each players in 8-ball, because one rack can be played so many ways,
Right.
and it's really interesting to see.
Missed a long 2 straight in, you know, shot. It's funny because, you know, she was fairly straight in, so it was, you know, kind of a somewhat tough to play position because you wanted your cue ball to hit it so softly like she just did to make sure she could see the 6-ball.
Back to your anger balls in the pocket that we talked about earlier.
Okay, she can choose to follow this ball or draw the ball. And, you know, how do you decide, right? Here she can hit this with a high ball and go 3 rails, side rail, end rail, side rail, back
but
out
the
to the
9-ball
is
what would you choose in this one?
The 9-ball is not in the way. Either way, you can go this down to the end rail, or you can draw and come across to the other side of the side pocket. She actually did in between that.
Yeah, exactly.
She, you know,
Not
she could go to the end rail or the
follow
side
shot.
rail. She kind of went towards the scratch, which means that she's just not using English.
So in this example, is it much like depending on what's the players comfortable with, or those two options were equally possible? Or?
Yeah, to me, both of those shots were equally possible. However, they weren't, I wouldn't say one was easier than the other. At least for someone like me, it just seems like it's just, you could choose either. So then, if that's the case, then I go based on the cue ball. If you go with a heavier cue ball, I'm going to use topspin because that's more natural.
And also the
If I'm using
table,
a lighter,
I guess.
Right, and if I'm using a lighter cue ball, it draws more easily, so that takes less effort. And so those are all different things that we do think about. Look at that.
Yes, sometimes also you have a table that has cushions that are faster than or not,
more
and the
springy.
cloth. And sometimes the cushions are faster than the cloth, and sometimes it's the cloth that is faster than the cushion. So,
Right.
so you might decide to send your cue ball to the cushions or not, or
Right.
to draw the shot more.
And I'm sure that's something that a lot of the amateurs are not even thinking about yet. But it is something that I know the pros definitely think about, is if it's a faster table or a slower table or, you know, heavy cue ball, light cue ball.
Yep.
But I would think the most important thing is, are you comfortable with this
With the
shot?
shot,
What
yeah.
are you more comfortable with? Hitting it high or hitting it low?
But this was an excellent example because this is a kind of shot that we see quite often. So for amateurs, it's a good idea to practice this shot, this three railer, making the
Right.
ball and aiming with inside English, or yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this right now. She can see the 6 ball. It's right close to the 9, but she cannot make the 6 ball in that corner pocket because the 8's in the way.
Yep.
So depending on,
The
I
angle.
can't get down on the shot, but
Yeah.
depending on the 8 ball, can you hit a stop shot and freeze the cue ball on the 9, let the 6 ball hit the top, maybe right part of the 6, and then move over and stay down there?
And make
maybe by
the
the
6
7.
hit 2 rails and go behind the 7-9 or something.
I don't think this 6
Oh,
ball can
oh.
go 2 rails.
Oh, yeah, the angle wasn't
Yeah, the
allowing
angle
it, but
wasn't
she's
there.
gonna make it. Wow.
All right,
no.
that was pretty lucky there, yeah.
And now she has an easy layout for the remaining of the rack. She should be able to finish from here. She has the perfect angle to go towards the 8 afterwards, so she's gonna follow, hit a cushion and come back in the center of the table for the 8. That's just a bit
Unless
too
she didn't
soft.
hit it hard enough.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Because that's another thing with 9 ball. In 9 ball, you can almost always aim for the center of the table and being able to hit the next ball. So
Right.
it's often a good option to go towards the center of the table.
You know, and it's tough. It's so easy to be critical when you're watching someone else play, but when you're right in it, you can get hyper focused on one thing and not see something that's staring at you in the face. There's so many different things that you can do.
It's a lot harder being on the table than from up here.
That's right.
That's for sure.
I think she's gonna play safe and just barely touch the ball. Uh-oh. See, you see how she just shifted her whole body? I would have stood back up again.
Yep. Always go towards the shot that you're making, having a good routine.
Right. A good approach on the ball.
A good approach.
You know, don't make your decisions while you're down the shot. She was down the shot, wanted to go one way, and then she just moved over. But you really should get back up and step back into the shot.
Oh. So a little defensive battle here. Will we
The thing is,
see?
if they keep doing this,
We're going to need the referee at one point.
well, no, I wouldn't say that, but it's going to be harder and harder to play
A good one.
a good safety. It's better to hit it thin and leave them some kind of
Give distance between the two.
give a little bit of distance, hit it thin and put the cue ball somewhere else where they're forced to take a tough bank shot or try to play a tough safety.
I think that's what Serafina is looking at doing. That's a good angle. I don't think she left a cross side available.
Yeah, she could have hit that a little bit thinner, but. All right, so what she can do is put a little bit of draw and let the 8 ball bank 2 rails down to the end rail. So side rail that the 8's on, bank it back to the other side and then to the end rail, or hit it thin, right?
Only one rail.
And let it go 1 rail with bottom left.
But the reason why you're first...
Oh, she went for it.
Wow. But
And
the reason you're...
look at the turnout.
Nice.
Okay. Well, you could always try that shot too.
Yeah. But can maybe your first option you were talking about, the
Double
advantage of banking it 2 rails as a defensive shot is that it was allowing her to play it harder and then being able to use a draw shot to bring the cue ball to the rail also.
Yeah, but she could have done that with the 8 ball going 1 rail as well, but she just...
She needed more spin maybe yeah.
No, I think that she just decided not to. I think she went for it. She was
Yeah,
trying to cut the 8 ball.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't go for the defensive shot on this one, but she ended up having a really good one.
Yeah, a good result. This is what you call natural talent, right? When you make it look so easy to play safe and get perfect.
But again, in any sports, there's a part of luck involved, and
That's right.
it's and pool is no different. No different.
You know, I'll tell you, instead, you see how she's looking? She's looking down table.
Yep.
But if she was to put her body on the other end of the table, she could go 2 rails,
Yep.
right, in this bottom right corner that you're looking at, and hit the 8 ball. And the 8 ball could go in either the corner pocket, but the cue
And
ball
maybe,
could
yeah.
also
Yep.
come off the 8 and
Maybe
pocket the
back.
9 ball on the side. If
Yep.
she went 2 rails with that, there were a few 2 ways to make the 8 ball, and the cue ball could have caromed off the left side of the 8 and made the 9.
Good things could have happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you have more good things.
And now, obviously, with ball in hand and 2 balls remaining, Brandi should finish this quite easily. Making it 3-2, raise to 5.
Man, I would have put that cue ball closer to the 8. I was just like, oh my God. It's so hard for me to watch matches because I get so nervous for them. At least when you're in it, you're just focused on playing the game.
Yeah.
When you're watching someone else, it's like you don't necessarily know what they're going to do, especially at the amateur level, because a lot of them, they can pocket balls well, but the knowledge isn't there yet. You know what I mean? So it's really can be hard to tell what they are going to do, only what they should do. And sometimes in 9 ball, there's a couple of ways to get around it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting also to watch beginners play, because sometimes you don't know, you might even learn something by the choice, because they're beginning to learn the game, so they kind of have a fresh mind and try some stuff that you wouldn't normally see, because sometimes you get, by playing a lot, you get stuck in patterns.
Right.
So sometimes it's even we learn from beginners, because then you see a shot you've not shot for years, and then
Right.
oh yeah, that's interesting. So
All right, it looks like Brandi came up dry on the break. Nothing went in. Serafina at the table with a nice long.
long one, yeah, and then staying for the 2, maybe a combo on the 8 with the 2-8. I think she can be fine and not scratch in the side pocket after
Right.
making the 1. I think, but she has to roll the 1 softly. That's nice shot, really nice shot.
That was very nice. All right. No, this one's good. Okay, the 2 ball does go in that corner pocket.
Oh yeah. Well,
She might choose to shoot the 2 and the 8. It just really depends.
yeah, and play it soft and keep the 2 right there in the pocket. She doesn't seem to have. Oh, yeah, she was shooting the 2 directly in the. Oh,
Oof.
it went in.
It went in. The 3 ball is a fairly easy shot into the side pocket.
She has a good angle for the 4 after.
Nope, the 4 is
Oh,
right there
oh,
by
it's
the
in the
3.
center, yeah.
Yeah, so if she hits it very softly, she'll get a cut on the 4, or she can hit it. Oh. And she missed that because she was really focusing on hitting it so softly,
Yeah.
because she didn't want her cue ball to come too far down table, since
Yep.
the 4 ball is blocked from the corner pocket.
So once again, the important thing is to have a clear mind when you're shooting your shot, and knowing exactly what you're targeting at and what is the goal with the cue ball, where you want it to leave it. And
Yes, and I very much believe, uh-oh, she didn't want to do that. But it worked out.
maybe a bit
No, maybe
too
not.
far.
But I will tell you that I still believe that the biggest separator between a 5 or a 7 in 8 ball, let's say, is not the tough shots. It's not the 7 ball keeps making. I mean, the skill level 7 keeps making shots that the 5 can't. It's that the number of easy misses, like that shot that she missed in the side pocket, it was a hanger. It was almost straight in, you know, really easy to pocket. But because you're thinking about the cue ball, and that's where a pre-shot routine is really important, is that do all your thinking, picture the shot, and once you get down, put 100% into making sure you make the ball that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's everyone's downfall. They start missing shots that they should never miss in a million years because they're thinking about something else.
Yeah. And at a certain point, you have to not let anything being uncontrolled, being left to luck or something. You want to make sure that you've thinking about every aspect of the shot, where you're
Right.
not only pocketing the ball, but where the cue ball would be, and also always thinking 2 balls ahead, because especially in 9 ball, you already know for sure what the second ball will be. So you're always playing position on the next ball so that you'll have an easy position for the next.
Now she could cut the 6 ball in.
Yeah. She'll
a
have
little
a,
bit thinner.
the 6 stayed there. Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy shot, but I also think she was worried about the cue ball getting behind the 9, or you know, she was trying to play position for the 7 ball. That's why she had to hit it so softly and maybe didn't give it all her focus.
Yeah, and also the interesting aspect in this shot was that the cue ball was crossing the line of position for the 7. So you had to have the perfect timing to have a shot afterwards. See, like
nice
this
shot.
one, now she had a perfect line with the cue ball, so that even if she went like 1.5 or 2 feet a bit further than she wanted, she still have quite a good shot, because the way the cue ball was coming into the 7, she left herself a good margin of error. So that is key. Oh, unfortunately, it's the 7, but that is key in choosing your pattern in 9 ball, is giving you the good line with the cue ball that would help you have a bigger margin of error for position. And you don't want to cross the ideal line of position. What you want is send the cue ball, let's say, toward the cushion that would give you some space for margin, especially on the speed of your cue ball. You want to make sure that even though I'm a foot or 2 softer or harder than I would have liked, that I still have a shot.
Pascal, we have our Facebook followers commenting, and Colby King asked, what do you think is the best way for 4 and 5 skill levels to practice or improve his or her game?
I think it's for sure that the putting at this point is, yes, it's still a good thing to practice, but it's kind of make sure that you understand the control of the cue ball. And one good thing that I've seen players do to improve their control of the cue ball is to let's start with only 3 balls, like 7, 8, or 9.
Right.
You throw them on the table and you try to run those 3 balls. And then when you get more and more comfortable, when your percentages are getting higher on those 3, then you add a 4th one. And then when you're getting 9 out of 10 times you're making those 4 balls, then you had another one. But the good thing would be to have a good coaching with an experienced players that has a good knowledge of the cue ball, the control of the cue ball. And let's start with one type of shot at a time. Let's say like in this one, there are lots of ways to go from the 7 to the 8. So let's say you could go low right, you could go high left, you could go simply a simple draw shot there. So just try to experience every type of ways to control the cue ball. Because with the shot that she just did with the 7, another good an exercise that you could do is to put the white in the middle of the table, put the 7 where it was, and then you'll try to control the cue ball so that you could send the cue ball almost anywhere on the table. So you start with the aiming at the center of the white, and then it would go at 90 degrees, and then you go a bit lower on the white, and then you'll see where the cue ball will end up, and then you'll start going even lower, and then even lower, and then after that you had the right spin on it, because putting spin on the ball should be the last thing that players learn and start to do. At the beginning, even I would even say for 3, 4, and maybe even 5s, simply being able to control the perfect timing and being able to shoot high and low on the cue ball could even be enough to run racks or have a really good game. But because by the time you start putting FX English on the ball, then it's going to affect your ability to pocket balls. So that should be the next step that you try. But as I was saying about that exercise, you could try to see exactly what happens with the white, with the cue ball, and try to work so that you're able to go anywhere on the table by this simple position. I don't know, Janet, what you would suggest for 4s and 5s to work on. There's also the strategic aspect of the game, for sure. But,
Yeah, when you talk about what are good things for 4s and 5s to practice, it really depends on, in my opinion, what your weaknesses are.
Yep.
Whether or not you, is it because you tend to miss the easy shots, or do you just not know the cue ball movement? You can't see the patterns of how to run out easily. I do like something that he was just talking about, Pascal was just talking about. I think the 7 ball was close to the first diamond and maybe 1 ball away from the rail. And if the cue ball was dead center of the table, and play positions so that you pocket the 7 and hit the first diamond on the end rail, then hit the middle diamond on the end rail, then 3/4,
Yep.
on the end rail on the 3rd diamond, and then again moving your cue ball systematically around the table on any given shot, I think is really important. However, again, to his other point is that really before you get into using English, and if you're moving your cue ball around the table on any given shot, there is going to be a point where you would have to use English to get to a particular diamond on the rail, right?
Yeah.
However, if you can just get really good at pocketing balls along the vertical axis of the cue ball, so center ball, high ball, low ball, and how much above and how low, and hitting those at different speeds, it's not the most exciting thing to practice, to do the exact same thing over again systematically, but it is the most efficient and productive way to turn a weapon into a weakness, is set up the same shot. I like to use the school reinforcements. On loose leaf paper, you get those sheets with the, you can buy these stickers that stick on the hole to stick on the 3-ring binders. You can get these reinforcement stickers to reinforce the holes on the piece of paper. And I take those stickers and I will place them on the pool table in a particular area with the cue ball on one sticker, reinforcements, because it'll sit on that hole.
Yep.
And then the other shot would be with another sticker, and so that I can make sure that I'm hitting the same shot over and over again. And just getting, even if you put out a row of object balls in front of the side pockets and just take ball in hand and hit stop shot after stop shot, or follow it all the way into the rail, or shoot that straight in and draw the cue ball all the way back to the other end rail. These are different things that you can do to improve your cue ball positioning anyway.
us in Montreal, we have the chance to have Alain Martel, which is a very
Yes,
famous
yes.
pro player,
Yes,
the dancing bear,
that's right.
and
Excellent player.
excellent player and an excellent teacher also
Oh, very good.
of the game. He has a big program for the kids in Quebec. He's starting extra. How do you say in English?
Instructional,
In school, but an extra program after hours.
extracurricular.
Yeah, programs in school. So this is running for now something like 4 or 5 years, and it's really
Oh.
successful with that. He's also starting to be a coach in our junior academy with the CPA Junior Academy that we just started last month.
Oh,
I'm
great.
really happy with that. And I know he's a big fan of the target pool, which is kind of the
Yes.
concept you were talking about.
Yes.
That you have a sheet of paper saying, okay, here where you put your white, the cue ball. Here's where you put the object ball, and here's the target I put, a sheet of paper. And let's say you have 3 cushions to do to get to that sheet of paper, but let's try to aim at leaving the cue ball in the center of that target. So
Right.
that's something that you can do. It's really easy to simply take a sheet of paper, put a target on it, and give yourself more points if you finish right in the center of that sheet, or start adding those numbers, making yourself an average, and following your improvement. So this is another possible way to follow your learning.
Yes. Yes.
And I would encourage you to go towards the more experienced player of your area and simply ask them some questions. Normally, they're quite open into helping players to improve their game, and they'll answer you in if you'd like to know. Okay, how would you shoot that shot? How can I get from A to B? What is the way that you're aiming at where do you hit on the cue ball? Those questions you
Yeah.
ask a pro player, he'll be happy to answer you, and then you can go back to your home pool hall and practice those shots with, let's say, the sheet like I was talking about. You put a target and you try to hit it 9 out of 10 times, and then try a harder way to get that position after that, and being more and more precise, and then you improve your chance of getting your skill level higher.
Okay, she managed to.
I think she-
Serafina left Brandi a shot, maybe a combination
Yeah.
shot between the 4.
A billiard, maybe.
It's funny
even?
that she didn't come over and look so. Yeah, she might be doing a billiard, but
Yeah, maybe she. Oh, yeah. Oh, and again, I think it was like some kind of a two-way shot. In this way, she's not giving the 4 to Brandi here. Yeah, maybe Brandi on the previous shot was trying to stick behind the 8, but missed
that's
it.
what
So
I think
yeah.
she did. Yeah. But I think she should have walked over. That's something that I feel like is missing in Serafina's game. Is she doesn't tend to walk around behind.
And see all the options.
Yeah, and really look at the shots a little bit better, because it would make her more productive when playing her safeties. All right, she's looking at going 2 rails to kick kick this 4 ball. Might help her spread the distance.
Brandi's
I don't know
hitting.
about hitting it softly though.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, she left her a shot on this 4 ball.
Yeah, she simply needs to cut it thin and try not to.
Be careful of the 9 ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, she
That
messed
works
around
out.
with it, but
Yeah.
good result.
Yep, she can make it, and I think that she could rob the pocket a little bit, make sure that she draws the cue ball back a bit.
Once again, it's a good example of, for controlling the white. There's another parameter that you can take into account, is that how you cut the ball into the pocket, and that will influence where the cue ball will go afterwards. If she would have cut the the ball a little bit more left in the side pocket, it would have sent the cue ball to a little bit more to the cushion.
To the
and
six ball.
and afterwards, yeah, towards the six ball also.
Right.
So at one point, when we were starting playing pool, we're simply trying to pocket the ball in the pocket, but no long after that, you suddenly need to try to aim at a portion of the pocket, because it will completely influence how the cue ball will go if you hit the left, the center of the right side of the pocket. So
So be aware of your surroundings when walking to your table. Tony Tucker, Michelle Brown,
Oh,
table
her
2.
cue ball's on the rail again.
yeah, maybe she wasn't that comfortable with the ball, because
Yeah.
to give yourself such a hard shot on the 9,
Melissa Lovell,
maybe she wasn't that comfortable in playing the previous shot, because normally on the 9 ball you should give yourself
Sue Orr,
a lot easier shot.
Yeah, if she had aimed a little lower on the cue ball and gave it just a little bit of left English, she would have been more out in the middle of the table, I think. But right now, you just got to watch her body and see if she can stay down on this
Yep.
this 9 ball.
Catherine Autry,
Now her head should not move at all.
And stay down throughout the shot completely.
Lester, Erica
You saw her,
14.
She
jump up
jumped a
before
bit,
she,
yeah,
she jumped
just a bit.
before she
Yep.
pocket the ball. And that's probably the best advice I was ever given, was by Mike Siegel when I first started playing. And he would come through the pool room that I played at, where I fell in love with the game, and I'm playing, I'm trying to compete into different things. And I said, what do you do when you're down, you know, you're in the middle of a match and you get down and you don't feel confident? You just don't know if the ball's going in, you're not seeing the balls well, but you're running out of time because you know your opponent is waiting for you to take the shot. And he
Nice
said,
shot.
when you don't have it, you fake it. Meaning, if you don't feel confident, it doesn't matter as long as you stroke the ball like you know it's going in.
Okay. Yeah.
Whether,
Yep.
you know, and just shoot
Give
the
yourself a
ball
chance.
to go in by letting your body, if your mind isn't right, commit to something. So if you know, you're looking at the ball and you don't find the exact target, but you have to make a decision. You can't just shoot it without aiming at anything. So just commit to a spot and stroke it with utmost confidence, so that at least your body, when your mind's not there, your body can move with the proper stroke and swing. And that will maximize your chances. And I've actually won a lot of tournaments where, you know, there were 2 or 3 matches in the tournament I did not feel comfortable. And it just continued to work out. The balls kept going in. Brandi just took her 4th win, putting her on the hill. Against Serafina Concannon. Okay, so Brandi takes the lead.
Yeah.
One more
With
game for the
some
match.
Control break, but just left the white follow a little bit more than she wanted.
Right, so I don't know how comfortable she can cue it because the 3 ball is behind. There you go, you can see she's elevating a little bit. But if she could make the 6 ball, hit it with a little speed so the cue ball can come out by the middle of the table. She's hitting it softly. She decided, you know what? I'm not going to worry about the cue ball. I'm just going to make sure I make this 1 ball in. So, but now her cue ball, should she decide to cut this ball in, the cue ball is going to go towards the 3 ball.
And open up that 2 balls that are stuck together, the 3 and the 5.
And
but
she's going to be taking it. Oh, she missed it completely. But you know, she hit that so softly that I think she was pretty good chance that the cue ball would not have hit the 3 had she made it.
Yeah.
Because it would have picked up that top spin. She had to hit it with a little bit more speed and try to break them up a little bit
And
more.
let's say you're just had the same shot that Serafina had previously, and what are you aiming at when you're looking at those 3 and 5 when you play that shot? What is your target? What is your focus when you're trying to open up those 2 balls? Because you knew that the cue ball will go anyway. You cannot make that the cue ball was not hitting the 3. So what would have been your thought process on that shot?
Well, I personally, I would have hit this 2 ball in the corner pocket and drew my cue ball to the end rail and kick up by the 3. That way both balls are going to come towards each other rather than hitting the cue ball into the 3. And I don't know that she
Okay.
could even have done that.
You would have tried to hit
But-
the 5, sorry?
I'm just saying if my decision was to go for the 2, I
Yep.
would have drew my cue ball to underneath the 3.
Okay.
But I personally would not have tried to shoot the 2 and taken that chance. I would have banked the 2 ball back up table and put the cue ball behind the 6.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would have
yeah,
played
yeah,
safety.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
only reason why is because where the 8 and 9 is, if I break up that 3-5, I'm not guaranteed to have a shot next.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a decent chance that I could hook myself. The 3 ball can be on the wrong side of the 8 and 9. And I want to guarantee, I want to respect my opponent to know that, you know what, I can't afford to let her see anything. So here I am, I've got a good chance of hiding my opponent behind the 6 and moving that 2 ball up table and wait till they have ball in hand or something easier to break them out.
Because even you professionals cannot pretend that you're gonna control completely what would have happened after the hit
Yeah.
on the 3.
Now look at this choice.
Yeah,
made
really
by-
interesting.
yes.
Yeah,
So
there's no 3-foul rule in this tournament. That is an interesting parameter to
Right.
have in mind when following the next.
she made a good choice. So she ended up hooking herself on the 3 ball. So she decided instead to go ahead and tie up the 3 by putting the 6 on the other side. And as you can see, I mean,
Serafina
that
has
Serafina has
no-
ball in hand,
Yeah, no
but
shot.
it is very difficult to play safety here. Now, the move is to put the cue ball as close to the 3 as possible
And let it
and
fly
try to
down the table.
no.
No. Okay.
You can't go down table, but if you put it as close as possible and just barely feather the 3, let the cue ball get on the
Oh.
other side of the 5. But you got to put the cue ball not where she's at because now it's harder to be accurate. If she put that cue ball right next to the 3 where she could feather it,
Oh,
that
the result
worked
seems to
even
be
better,
very good.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was aiming at the 4. Yeah, nice.
Right,
To
so
bring
she-
the cue ball towards the 4. And then
right, she could have done that same thing but put the cue ball really close to the 3 so she could be more accurate.
Yeah.
Because had she done that, the 3 ball would be probably frozen to that
the-
end rail.
yeah.
She
Because
wouldn't
you
have hit it as hard.
exactly, she would have not had it in that hard, so you could have controlled the amount of energy that you would have given to the 3
Right.
a little bit more. Yeah. So Brandi once again decided, let's tie those balls up. Once again, no 3-foul rules. So
There's no 3-foul rule, but if you keep playing, and you keep bumping the ball around, what
Yeah.
happens? There'll be a stalemate and they'll start again.
yep.
And how many?
If both players agree to not use advantage of the ball in hand, then we restart the game.
Right. But I don't think the 5-6 combination goes.
No, it
So
doesn't
I
seem
don't
to be
see
on.
the look,
point.
She
Oh,
scratched. I was going to say I don't see the point of her going for the 3-4. I would have tried to play it so that my cue ball somehow gets on the other side of the 6.
yeah, because the
you
5
know-
seems to be frozen or almost frozen to the rail. So
Right.
it's
There's
kind
no
of
point in running balls home while you've got 2 guys in a trap. You've got to get them out of problem. You know, you got to
Yeah.
open up that 5-6
Mhm.
with the 3 or the 4 while hiding the cue ball or doing something like that. Because now,
What do you do?
right.
Yeah. So she's.
I think she's trying to bank the 5 ball away and stick the cue ball on the end rail.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
She might have hit that too hard.
Yeah. Serafina will have a shot at a 4, but is it the 4 or the 5?
Here you can see a
I think it's the 5. But
better view of it over here. There's a scratch possibility over here in this bottom right corner.
once again,
if
there's
it's a 6.
almost no point in making that ball in the bottom left corner, because how would you make make it so that you
Don't
get,
scratch.
and also that you get position for the 6 that is just
That's right.
on the top cushion there, where is her hand is. So she might decide. One good defensive shot will be maybe. I really like when two balls like this are close together. It's easy to control the end position of the 5 in this situation, because if you send the 5 towards the 7 and really with a full hit on the 7, you know that the 5 is going to stay there. And then if you cut it thin, and then you can control where the white is going.
But we don't know that she can hit her
Oh,
her
maybe.
right
Oh,
side
maybe.
of the
Okay,
5.
okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe the 8 was preventing her from. So ball in hand.
Ball
No.
in hand, yeah. I think she was not trying to cut that there anyway. She was trying to drive the 5 ball to the end rail in the middle of the table so the cue ball would land on top of the 7.
Yeah.
And she hit a little bit more left of where she wanted to, but she didn't hit it hard enough to hit a rail.
Yeah, and also when you play that soft, then you're leaving the
Right.
table control the cue ball, and let's
Right.
say there's chalks or anything on the cloth, then the
Right.
cue ball can go either ways. So it's really your last solution to play that soft of a long shot.
But I do think that that was still the best choice of the choices she had.
Yeah. She didn't have much for sure. Yeah.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. It sounds like it's quiet.
Hope we were not talking alone all that time.
No.
Okay, so now getting position to the 6 is key. It's really interesting. Oh,
Ooh, she hit that a lot fuller than she meant to. You can see a little smile on her face, though. All right.
a big draw shot.
Come
here.
on, ladies.
Let's get your stroke out.
I mean, they're both fully capable
Yep.
players. You know, they seem to be making pretty good decisions and things like that, but they're having a tough time kind of.
Also, Brandi's
Around
on
the
the
table.
hill, so it's kind of a pivot time of the game for sure.
Ooh, she meant to draw back a little bit more than she did. There you could see, well, I could see that she clenched the ball towards the swing. You really want a nice, comfortable, loose grip as you're following through the shot. A lot of times when they put a lot of draw on the ball or they want to hit it harder, when they swing forward, they clench their fists and they tighten it up, which
Yeah.
kind of stops your
You always want
stroke
your
from going all
wrist
the
to
way
stay
through.
loose, right?
Yes, you want a loose grip all the way through the shot. And there is a good safety there by her. All right. Here she's going to try to kick the ball. You might want to hit it with a little
Yeah, I
bit
think
of
she
speed.
sees
Oh,
it.
can she see the ball?
Yeah, I think so. Hard to tell, but I think so.
Yeah, she looks like she's cueing it, actually.
Yeah,
hitting the
yeah,
ball
yeah.
as she could. She must not feel comfortable. There's a lot of places where it looked like she could draw the ball and she didn't. I'm wondering if that's just not a strength in her game. Because she makes good decisions generally, but there's been a few times that she did not draw the
Yeah,
ball.
she might not be comfortable in playing hard draw shots.
Because she was pretty straight on the 6
Oh,
ball.
wow,
It's
nice
not
shot.
yeah, that was beautiful.
Perfect position now, or almost. She would have rather liked to have a bit more space from the cushion, but she's all right.
I think she could punch it to the end rail and back up.
Oh.
See, again, she didn't hit low.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
needed to
Not
punch
low
it with
enough,
A little
yeah.
bit of low.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
All right, Serafina, you know what you need to be practicing when you get home, girl.
She's making herself work hard.
Well, she needs this to get on the hill, right? To make
Yep.
it hill-hill.
Yep.
setting final. This is a tough, tough situation. You could
Yeah.
bank the ball.
Play safe.
Whenever I can cut the ball, I cut it, but then the cue ball could hit it too thin and scratch down here. Or you could play safe, hit the right half of the
She's
ball.
going
and
for the
just
bank,
put
I
the cue
think.
ball.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe.
If she hits it soft and puts the 9-ball on this side rail, if she feels like her opponent can't bank very well, then you might just leave it in that.
Is she playing a soft defensive shot here?
I, I don't know, Pascal. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a hill-hill match.
I want to stay with Janet.
Yeah.
One more rack.
Yes. Both ladies overall tried to play a really smart game and came, oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh, would it go further? Yeah, okay. At
All
least
right, all right.
it wasn't, it's not hanging by the side pocket. But
Fairly easy bank in the side pocket, but you never know. When the pressure's on, anything can happen. Okay.
she also has a good defensive shot, making the 9 on the top. Oh, okay. Now she's trying the soft one.
I don't know that would have.
The first target should always be to try to put distance between the two, and there was
Right.
lots of options available to do that.
Right, so she could have hit the left side of the 9-ball very thin, banking the 9-ball to the end rail, and the cue ball
Going
two
three rails.
2 or 3, right,
Yep.
long, short, down on this end of the table.
Yep.
But instead left her almost straight into the corner pocket.
Yeah. Especially 9-ball, you don't want to. You want to give distance because obviously your opponent's going to shoot on the same ball you did. So you want to give as much distance as possible.
You know, she got back up again, so maybe there was a little more angle than we thought. And she doesn't want the cue ball to.
Good one.
Oh, there it is.
You've got what you wanted, Janet.
Yes,
We've got a hill-hill match.
situation up here. 4-4. That's what we needed, baby. All right, good luck, girls.
Have
You're
fun.
doing great.
Enjoy
Yes.
it.
Yes.
They've been preparing themselves for a long time for this long weekend, long week of pool.
And you know, earlier in my career, when it would get like this, I'd be so nervous. I'm so nervous, but I want to play well, and I've got so much going on in my head because I'm kind of choking a little bit, putting all this panic in my mind, but trying to keep it together. Whereas now I have more calmness, but I think the calmness is going, you know what? I'm here for a reason.
Let's
And
have some fun.
Let's have some fun. I want to win this. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be the beast that I want to be.
Yeah.
And when you go into it looking for the win, looking for opportunities, it takes that panic away, and there's still an adrenaline rush.
Yep.
You know, people say, how do you stay so calm? And I'm like, I am not calm. You know, my heart is pounding.
Inside your pump.
Oh, yeah, my adrenaline is going nuts because I want it. I'm hungry for it. And I think as long as you want to win and the win means something to you, you're going to feel those nerves. But the difference between the amateurs and the pros is that the pros accept it as a cool adrenaline rush.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Amateurs think about it as, you know, absolute panic and trying to calm themselves down. Again, I want you guys to know at Hill, Brandi against Serafina, we are streaming live with pooldog.com as our stream sponsor. Thank you so much for all the support you do for the APA US Amateurs, as well as so many other events in our industry. Pool Dog is always in there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure Brandi and Serafina are quite happy that they'll get the chance to see their match afterwards with this Pool Dog opportunity.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I thought she wanted to kind of stop there to shoot the 2 in the side.
But going back to what you were saying, also, I think what is key is to continue focusing on what you can control, and what you
Right.
can control is the next shot. So you have to focus on the basics of making sure that you're gonna do exactly what you want to do on the next shot. Yes, you have to visualize yourself winning the tournament, but if you want to do that, you have to be completely focused on the next shot.
Right. Taking a better look at where the 3-4 is lined up. could see
Can
the
she
amount of
make it
space.
off the 4?
Yeah, I can't tell whether or not she can hit the right side of that 3 ball to
Yeah.
make the 4.
Maybe she needs to kind of
Or play
make
safe.
it turn the white, like a little massé on the white, on the cue ball, if she would have.
Yeah, because if she can't see the right side of the 3, she
Oh,
can hit it and
nice.
put the cue ball behind
That's
the
a
4.
nice shot.
You know what? That might be the game winner right there. She hit that perfectly. Nice camera view.
Again, here, I don't know if she has space in between the 3 and the 9 to go hit the long rail. No, she's aiming completely to the. Okay, so she decided, let's put that 5 ball
Towards
on towards the rail.
yeah, making it tougher to get from the 3. 'Cause she's going to make the 3 into the 4, and then
Yeah.
she'll be playing the 3 to get to the 5.
And also from the 5 to the 6 afterwards, you have to
Right.
get the right angle, and you're gonna be close to the side pocket.
Are you guys nervous out there? I'm a little bit nervous.
Whoa, she played it hard a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she wanted to get herself a good angle. That's a good result.
Boy, you would have.
Now she has an automatic position on the 5, or almost.
Yeah. She can hit then it on the 3 and then aim with a little bit of draw, low or low right. Come back up towards the middle of the table.
Oh, she would have needed an extension here. You know, those extension to put on your cue, because
Yeah.
she's really completely. Oh, so
She took the long way around the table.
okay. Not completely comfortable on that
Yeah.
shot.
Well, she hit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, it better slow down.
Whoa, yeah, stop, cue ball. Hey, cue ball, where are you
Oh my
going?
gosh.
Oh, wow, wow.
Boy, it just kept on going.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see Serafina. Like, the position here from the 5 to the 6 is kind of tricky still, with the 9
Yeah.
being where it is. You don't want to put yourself behind the 9, obviously, and
No. If you can get that cue ball down to that end rail with just a little bounce, just a little angle, then she should be
because
okay.
you also, another thing to think about is that the 7 is completely down the table, so you have to
Right. Make sure you have an angle.
yeah, on the 6. So it needs a good control of the cue ball here.
There she goes. Did you see that?
Yep.
She stood back up,
Yeah,
readjusted her feet. You
Yeah.
always want to make sure that you do that.
Yeah.
Make sure your entire body is set
Yeah.
up for the
Take
new
your
shot.
time, Serafina. This is a game-winning shot here, or almost, because afterwards there's not much left to do, if we can say that.
Yeah, if she gets a good angle on that 6.
On that 6, then normally she can run the rest of the rack. That seems good.
Well, no. I think she wanted to have more angle than that.
She's gonna be straight. But here again, it's a little bit hard to tell if she's.
Here.
Oh, here it is. The
you
six
go.
seems to be really on the cushion, so she
Yes.
cannot hit the cushion first, or maybe. I
You
don't
can
think
hit
so.
it like a stop shot, but pound it. Hit
Yeah,
it
you
hard,
need to
hit
hit-
the
yeah,
cue ball. Whoops,
yeah.
she gave it topspin. Wow.
She didn't give enough
No.
right angle, right
yeah. She
English.
just hit it with high English instead
Yeah,
of.
she needed a little bit more right English.
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling one way or another, but you want to at least feel like you're giving it your all, and to know that you scratched three
With-
balls left on the table. That's the kind of thing you lose sleep over. Tossing and turn tonight. I think that's gonna hurt her.
So again, Brandi has lots of option of where to put the cue ball and how to shoot it. What would have been your best option, Janet, on this one? Would you have liked to go hit the
Have a little more angle and
Yeah.
come back out to the middle of the table. This is
But
fairly
she left
straight in.
herself a bit of angle. Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
But
no,
yeah,
you wanna,
give yourself a little bit more, right? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice if she could have had a little bit more of an angle.
Then you don't have to force the shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Take another look at the angle that she has.
Does she need a little bit inside English on that eight, you think, or to keep the cue ball not too far away from the 9 afterwards? She's slow playing it. Oof.
Oh, wow. She hit that fuller than she wanted to.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think that might have helped her, because had she hit it thinner, I feel like the cue ball
Yeah.
would have been right above the 9 ball.
Yeah. Not an easy shot to close out the match here. You don't want to scratch in the side. You don't want to.
Or the corner.
Or the corner. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's all right. Woof.
Jeez Louise, ladies. Okay, and that's a match for Brandi James over at Serafina.
Yep.
Concannon. Again, special thanks to Pool Dog for all of their event. And you guys can stay tuned for the next matchup in just a few.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Pascal.
Thank you,
I was going to
Jeanette.
say the same thing. I really enjoyed commentating with you. Bye.
Bye.
Up, Jason Bowman's here also, trying to get a quick bite.